something happened last week. I kind of realized that the beginning of this year has kind of sucked for me in many different ways. But the main thing was the diagnosis of thyroid cancer and the surgery, of course, and then getting my body used to the Synthroid, artificial thyroid hormone. It was longer and rougher than I thought it was going to be. And then I stopped working, semi-retired. I don't know if I was completely ready for it, just in the sense of really trying to figure out what I was going to do with my time. And obviously I do this some of the time, but figuring out what I was going to do with the time. And it was just it was a time of change, which is kind of hard. Change is hard for me. It's hard for a lot of us. And then right after that, about 3.5 weeks after that, a friend of mine was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. In some ways, I became a partial caregiver in all of that. I remember it was like the last week of September, the last full week of September, and I realized, okay, things are kind of opening up a little bit more. One of the terms I used was darkness, and I wasn't talking depression or anything like that. It was just a lot of heavy things kind of going on. And it got me off track. About March-ish, I stopped working with my trainer, Carly, from Unsupersize Me. I did it at the time for a good reason, because I really couldn't focus very well. Between the surgery and the Synthroid and the change with the job and everything. And then right after that, the cancer diagnosis. And I was just like, okay. But then I realized that about a week and a half ago that, okay, things have kind of settled down now. And I honestly think that I can do this now. Before my brain could take over and say, no, don't do it, change my mind, I did the whole Mel Robbins 5-second rule, the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go rule, and I texted Carly. We kind of talked about things and everything, and I made the decision that, okay, we're going to do 6 months here. I expect that 6 months is hopefully going to get the vast majority of weight off. I started this at around 250-ish. With this next round of Unsupersize Me, I think I'll get the vast majority. And at the end of 6 months, I can make a decision. I don't have to make that decision right now. I kind of was thinking, what are the advantages of having a coach? And I think the overall advantage is that theoretically, you will get to the goal that you want faster than if you did it by yourself. Definitely think that that is sort of the overarching goal. Now, 3 pros to having a coach. Number 1, and this is how you get to that end goal much more quickly, accountability. This is a big thing for me. What I do with Carly is we talk for 30 minutes, basically on Mondays. But every day I text him when critical things are done in my day. And then the end of the day, I typically text him this big long thing I have on the computer. And this is a me thing, but it's got like the exercise that I did, other critical things, and the food that I ate, because those are the important things. So I've got accountability with that. The next one, they have more experience typically than you do. And it could be, let's just keep it on weight loss, it could be that they lost 120 pounds. So they've been there, done that. And they know the ruts and the pitfalls and all of that sort of stuff that you are gonna have. It could be I have personally been through this, or it also could be that they have had enough clients that they almost feel like they've done it themselves before. And then the third thing that I really believe is a pro to having a coach is going to be the perspective that they have. A lot of times we are totally in our heads with the muck and the mire and the way that we are basically doing the same thing the way we've always done it. But coaches will have a different perspective because they can step out of it, whereas we are in it. That too is a pro to having a coach. Cons to having a coach. One, there's accountability. I know it was a pro, I do, but there's accountability. You can't lie to a coach. That's just sort of, that's sort of a rule. You cannot lie to a coach. Accountability, so if you screw up, they're gonna know about it. And then you're gonna have to explain yourself. Then you're gonna have to decide what you're gonna do next, the next time that happens. And you're at the Dairy Queen, and everybody else is getting Dairy Queen Blizzard. Which plan? Because it's gonna happen, and you can't have Dairy Queen Blizzard. So, are you gonna pre-think about it and have an apple with you? Maybe. Are you not gonna have anything? Maybe. We don't know yet. Number two, the cost. Typically, there is a cost. It may be very little, it may be a lot, and that's something you have to kind of weigh with your budget. You have to kind of make that decision yourself. For me, I thought it was worth it. This is how it works with Carly and I right now. I meet with him 30 minutes a week, and he added 3 or 4 kind of specific things for me to help me be successful. First one is, I had been a little lackadaisical with the cardio and doing it in the evening. He wants it specifically in the morning. So I had to kind of figure out how I was planning on doing that, because Mulligan and I have our routines. So we figured out that it was going to be getting up, get coffee, get breakfast for Mulligan, drink my coffee, go out for a walk, use that as sort of a warm up for the cardio, which is right now, at least this week, has been the tread. And immediately when we come in, we go up, get on the treadmill, and get it done. The next thing that he wanted was, he wanted me to take a cold shower every morning. I don't want to take a cold shower every morning. I don't want to take a cold shower every day. I don't want to take a cold shower any day. And he had a good reason for asking for this. Number one, it proves I can do hard things. And we're only talking 15 to 30 seconds. We're not talking all that long. And the other place that I really think I had seen this before was in a book called Dopamine Nation. It was written by Dr. Anna Lemke. And it is on Amazon. I've linked it below. But it really goes into everything that's pleasurable hits our dopamine receptors. And our dopamine receptors are so freaking saturated between drugs, alcohol, internet, social media, sugar. It hits the dopamine receptors. That one way in which you can do sort of a dopamine detox, at least part of that dopamine detox, is either polar plunges, which is basically getting in a huge bucket full of ice and water, or cold showers. And it kind of reworks that nervous system. I understood why he asked for it. I just didn't want to do it. Did I still do it? Yes, I did. Every single day. And then obviously for me, taking the Antabuse on a daily basis. And obviously also whole foods plant-based. And we started with cardio at about 30 minutes because I really had kind of come down on that. And we started with weights at 10 to 20 minutes. I still have a goal of 25,000 Peloton minutes, and I'm greater than 15,000 now. I still do a lot of other types of exercise, but this week it was 30 of cardio and 10 to 20 of weights. And then I had stretching, I had a meditation, visualization, all that sort of stuff in there as well. Specifically, my day runs with, I get up, taken the shower, gotten dressed. I text him, let him know. I've also taken my Antabuse by then, so I also let him know. Because the value is not, at least for the Antabuse, is not in the response from him. It's the me telling him that I have done it. That information. He can do with it what he wants, but I need to do it and then tell him I did it. So it's that accountability. And then I usually tell him that I'm on the treadmill. Technically what I usually do is take a picture of the Peloton class that I'm doing, so he knows what's going on. Then I just write down everything during the day, and I send him a sum up at the end of the day. And that's just kind of how it's worked this week. I meet with him again tomorrow. I anticipate cardio is going to go up and weights are going to go up. The final thing that I really specifically needed to work on was self-belief. So while I am doing meditation and visualization, I am focusing very specifically on deserving. My deserving that if I make the right choices and actions, that I deserve to actually get to my goal weight. We all have limiting beliefs. Even 59-year-old physicians have limiting beliefs. That has been what I think a coach, the pros and cons of having a coach, and my present personal experience with a coach. And I will also link his movies below. He is an awesome guy. If you have the chance to work with him, I would. Honestly, I just started with, watching the movies. So they're all free on YouTube, linked below. And that's about it. Let me know if you got any value from this. Give me a thumbs up, smash that like button. Like I said, I have about 80 pounds to go now. So come along for the ride, subscribe. It's going to be a roaring good time. Oh, if you can think of any other pros or cons to having a coach, write them in the comments below. I am actually kind of interested because I kind of came up with these kind of off the fly, but I think they're pretty solid. Bye, guys.